Hi. Oh shit. Okay. Let me start the timer. Let me start the timer. Okay. Well, you're definitely gonna hear my cat, but whatever. Um, hopefully she's not louder than me. I know the audio sucks because I'm just talking into my MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, MacBook. I'm rich. Okay, I have money. Obviously. I'm so rich. Anyway, in spirit or otherwise. Okay. So I'm doing another one in the same day. Come back to me. Come back to me. I'm doing another video in the same day because I don't know if I'm gonna be brave enough to record for 10 minutes on the tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe I will. But either way, I wanted to just do another one if I have the time. Uh, but I only have 10 minutes. Let's get on with it. So I watched a documentary yesterday, and it was a really good documentary. It was called Anthropocene: The Human Epoch, Epoch, something like that. And I think I've seen it around. So when I saw it, I was like, I think I've seen that. I think I'm gonna watch that. Also, got the idea from Struthless, I think his name is. I think that's how you say that. He did an ABCs of documentaries. I don't know what documentaries he did, but I'm like, that's really smart, and I want to watch more documentaries. So that was A. That was A for what I'm doing. And so I watched Anthropocene, which is really interesting. But I've also read the book Ishmael from Daniel Quinn, and the main kind of idea of that story that if you haven't read it, it's a gorilla. The it's a gorilla. The book is not a gorilla. Our main vehicle of knowledge and narrative interest, I guess, is a gorilla. Okay, so gorilla named Ishmael, and Ishmael's big, like, not theory, but kind of like framework, I guess, or like binary of this or that he creates is of like culture and story and whatever. And there is the taker culture, which self-explanatory. They take. Uh, their main motivation is to acquire, is to conquer, is to take, to extract. Okay, and then the other side of the binary is the lever culture, which tends to live more in harmony with their environment, and is more of a like, listen, you live your life, I'll live mine. We can just coexist away from each other. I don't need your resources unless like I do, but I'm not gonna force you to live my way or to give me what I want. Okay, and there's these two extremes, and Ishmael makes the very um, I would say inarguable point that the reason for so much of human discontentment and um, like I guess like scarcity mindset, or like kind of the mythos that the West is living with and people in the West live with, is a mythos of taker culture. I don't know if any of this is making sense. It really doesn't matter. I'll probably be the only one who ever sees this, or I don't even know if I'll see it. But anyway, what I'm trying to communicate is I have read this book, and I have read this gorilla, Daniel Quinn, through the voice of a gorilla, um, hypothesis and explanation of this taker culture, and I myself have realized that as a person born in the West, person born in America, I am most definitely part of a taker culture. Also, definitely gonna hear my cat in the litter box. That's okay. But you know what? That's life. We all poop and fart. We all poop and fart at the end of the day. But yeah, so I had read that book, so I have that background in my head, and I'm watching Anthropocene, and Anthropocene describes um, the it describes the, not phenomenon, but I guess the time. It describes the fact that humans affect the landscape of Earth more than anything else. Okay, so it's like, for example, I don't know if these numbers are exact and they line up with whatever, but I think it's about 85%, and this might not be the right fact to what I'm aligning it to. Again, I'm just remembering. 85% of land not frozen, unfrozen land, not covered in ice, is used for agriculture and mining. I don't remember how much, I don't remember the number that they said because it was too big of a number. But the amount of resources that we humans extract from the body of this planet is crazy. Okay? We are greedy. We are greedy. We are selfish. We are entitled. And it's so gross, okay? To watch, like, the documentary was beautiful. It was a beautiful documentary, very well produced, like very well, I think, like formatted. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'd feel different if I watched it again. But I really enjoyed watching it, and it just opened my eyes to the reality that this fucking gorilla was illustrating in like the 90s. So Daniel Quinn as a gorilla was illustrating in the 90s, and seeing it now and how much worse it is because we have shit like electric vehicles. And that's not to say that electric vehicles are all bad or the idea is all bad. Oh, come back. Is all bad. But like the amount of lithium required to make these vehicles that are pieces of shit, by the way. Not all electric vehicles, but I'm thinking about the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck's a piece of shit. I'm going to say it. And it's true. The Cybertruck is a piece of shit. And, this stuff requires a lot of lithium, and it will probably live on this planet forever. Like many other things, like plastics, which was also mentioned. I think they called them technofossils. Like, it's aluminum, plastic, I think. I don't know. I know aluminum was one of them. I don't know, because I said aluminum, and I was like, that is not how you say that. That is not how you say that, at least as a stupid American. And the world does revolve around my thoughts and my Midwestern dialect. So you're not saying that right. I only remember aluminum, but there's just so many artifacts of our greed and of our entitlement of we can just take an infinite amount from this planet, and that's not true. Like, it's not even necessarily an argument about like climate change. Like, it's not even that I like immediately was like, oh, like this is why like summers are hotter and what, like, okay, yeah, that's happening. That's happening. But more than that, this is showing the consequence of a culture that thinks that they can just take whatever they want and however much they want without boundaries. It shows that we have created a global culture that does not believe in boundaries and that does not believe in reciprocation either. And it's like, this is a lot to take away from a documentary, like talking about, well, exactly what I'm talking about is how many resources and how much of these resources we extract from the planet. And it's like, no, because we would not feel none of this would be allowed. Okay, none of this would be happening, or not on this scale, because I don't want to say that we wouldn't mine and that we wouldn't have agricultural spaces. That's not, I think that's true, but more so that this boundless extraction shows how fucked up how fucked up a global culture we currently have. And I know that like Western culture doesn't represent everything, but Western culture has made it a point to be present in just about every other culture. Not every culture. There are still like, I don't know the degrees of untouched, because again, I'm an American and the world only revolves around me and my Midwestern accent. So I don't know. Never left this country, barely left this state. So I'm not speaking, I don't know all the intricacies of every civilization ever. Okay? Don't call me an anthropologist. But it's just really interesting to me to have that background of Ishmael and to watch this documentary and to just have this hypothesis and this story confirmed that, oh my God, the reason we are where we are, which is like dealing with climate change, dealing with horrible social inequity, and social issues and humanitarian issues is because we are a taker culture. And that's time.